and welcome to Let Me Bore You to Sleep. It's Sunday evening and it's dark outside. I feel it might be time to go to sleep. I was trying to find something that rhymed with sleep, and then I realised that it's the same word. However, I've noticed that's used in some lyrics that you do rhyme with the same word. I don't have any actual examples. Itchy bum. Actually, it's an itchy leg. It's raining outside. We just went out a little while ago, probably about half hour ago, and he didn't want to be out any more than me. Proper raining. Not heavy, but heavy enough to get wet over time. Drizzly. Not particularly pleasant, if you know what I mean. So, yeah, today's Sunday the 15th of March 2026. So I'd just like to say thank you to everybody. Thank you for everybody that listens to my podcasts. So I'd like to say a big thank you to Luke for your PayPal gift. Thank you. In fact, I need to post that. Onto Facebook. What else? Yeah, just let you know, there's no way of me getting any income from the podcasts or the videos or anything. So if you'd like to contribute to help me to cover the costs of providing this free service, then I'd be delighted if you would consider a PayPal gift. I've got no idea what my PayPal is. It's something. What is it? It is paypal.me/Jason Newland. The link's on my website. So I do have a website called jasonnewland.com, which is my podcast. I also have another website called jasonnewland.store, where all my recordings are, and you can download those for free. So you can stream them for free on my website. You can download them for free on the store. I've gone back to doing 6 recordings per episode. So short, long, overnight, without music and with music. I'm on all the major podcast hosts, Apple, Spotify, you name it, I'm everywhere. Also on YouTube as well, so all my recordings get sent up there to YouTube automatically, and all 6 versions. And I'm on Facebook. I've got a Facebook group. Oh, really? What's it called? Well, it's called Jason Newland's Boring Group, and it really is possibly, I know it's not supposed to be, but it's probably the most exciting Facebook group that's ever been created by me ever. So I've currently got 242 members, and it's stayed that number for ages. So why don't you join? Come on. Even if you don't even like listening, can you join anyway? just to get the numbers up, because I'd quite like to get to 245 by the end of the year. Oh, please. So I need to put thank you, Luke. Oh my goodness. I've literally forgotten the name. I remember the surname. Lucas. I mean, that's a name I should kind of know, isn't it? So thank you, Lucas, for your PayPal gift. So yeah, I need to send a private message as well. The only problems with what I've noticed lately, not that I get a chance to send them, but when I go to reply, because I don't always get the email address of the person that sent me the £10, so or whatever. So reply. No, it's just to PayPal. So that's weird. I have to find a way to. I don't know if I can do it on the app. But thank you anyway. So also, happy Mother's Day to those of you that are celebrating on the day. And if you're not celebrating the day for whatever reason, I'm sending love to you as well. So, yeah. There's so many different celebrations, isn't there, throughout the year. I do Mother's Day because I got a stepmum. I do Father's Day because I got my dad. I do birthdays, kind of. And Christmas, that's it. I don't do any of the other celebrations like squeaky chair time. I don't do Easter. I don't like send Easter eggs or Easter cards to anyone. I haven't done that since I was a kid. I think there is a Grandparents' Day, but I've never done that. I think there is, I'm not sure, but I don't think I've ever sent a grandparents card. There's no parents card, is there? Son's card or daughter. There's no daughter day or Sunday. I mean, there's a Sunday every day, every week, but you know what I mean, SON day or daughter day. We deserve it just as much. Yes, we do. Maybe not. I don't know. So, at the moment, I'm still in the process of just updating the podcasts, because when I got them all back and changed things around, or after changing things around, I realised that there's quite a lot of stuff out of date. So I'm in the process of doing that with the one podcast at the moment, which is stress and pain relief. So at the moment there's 179 episodes, but there isn't. There's like 45, but there's 3 or 4 versions of each one, depending on, because they go back quite a few years, but I don't have the dates, unfortunately. No, 47. Wow. 47. So at the moment I'm just going through them. I've done 45, so I now need to upload 46. It's very time consuming. But I can do other stuff while it's being done. It's just the internet's going a little bit slow at the moment. I told you about that, didn't I? About the internet. Us not getting internet that they promised. Couldn't believe it. Could not believe it. Coming round and building up my hopes. When the bloke came round, he filled the form in. Because I'd already filled the form in online, but he just put a bit of more information in, and I said, "Will you want my bank details for the direct debit?" Because I was literally excited. Up to 900 megabytes a second. That was excitement for me. Just how much more I could do. I mean, I was talking to my neighbour and she said to me, we could have just done one and had it for the whole building, all 6 flats. Technically. I mean, I don't personally wouldn't want to do that, just because I do need a lot of data sometimes when I'm up, because a lot of mine is uploading, not downloading. Often uploading you get less. It takes longer to upload than it does to download. So when you think about it, every time I do a recording, I have to upload 6 versions to the podcasts. Then I have to upload 6 versions to both, well, depends, of the, what's it called? What is it? I'm losing track. SoundCloud, that's it. So uploading them to SoundCloud, and then I upload one to the jasonnewland.store. Now, after talking about that yesterday, I've now redone the website so that I only offer one recording, just the one without music, normal length. It's a lot quicker to download. So yeah, so that's what I've done there. Do you ever send someone a text message and just wait and wait and wait, and they just don't reply? And you know they've received it. So I sent a text message, and this is something I was doing someone a favour, because I got them something, put it through the letterbox, and I said, I put the thing through your letterbox. This was at 2:49. It's now 6:30. I don't mean to moan. Actually, I do mean to moan. It's very rude. Very, very rude. How do people become so rude these days? People used to be perfectly mannered when I was younger. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. I tell you, it's really weird, right? Okay. MSN. I searched for the Baron Knight's Night of Laughter, or Nights of Laughter album, and now I'm getting adverts for the Baron Knights. They don't even try and be covert. See, Chris Hemsworth, Liam Hemsworth. Is it me, or do they just look the same? Isn't that the same person? Because there's a picture here with Chris Hemsworth and he's got sunglasses on. And I'm thinking, it's the same person. I didn't realise they were different people. That's what I used to think, like, blimey, how can they make so many movies and TV shows in 1 year? Well, actually, there's like 5 brothers. Oh, there's a couple in the country, in the UK, and there's these 2 brothers, but they're not twins, but they look pretty much identical to me anyway. I've not seen them naked, but they look, to me they look the same. And one, I'm not sure if they're in it anymore, but one was in Emmerdale, which is a soap, and the other one was in Coronation Street, which is also a soap. That's the whole story. That was really boring, wasn't it? There wasn't really much to add to that, other than they just look the same. And I do wonder, there was a couple of boxers that were both world champions, forget their names now, But I did sometimes wonder if they took turns, because they were pretty much the same weight. If they just took turns, maybe if one of them had a little bit of an injury, so like they just step in for their brother and go in and win. Because one of them was arguably a higher level. He was more successful. They were both really successful, if I could say the word. But I did wonder if would you do that? There was a time when I was younger, most things happened when I was younger, when I used to think that I was a twin, or that I had a twin. But it's the same, isn't it? I'd still be a twin even if I had a twin. If I'd have to be a twin to have a twin. And because I know at the time I didn't realise, but twins are in my family as well as ginger. So ginger twins, basically. So the ginger gene is very strong in my family, on my grandmother's side or my dad's side. And also my nan, she had twins as well. So I don't know, surely wouldn't someone tell me if I had a twin? And if they hadn't told me, why wouldn't they tell me? You'd think that would be something that would be kind of, I don't know. I mean, if nothing else, do you think if you kept that a secret for like, well, I was going to say 45 years, but I am actually 55, aren't I? So imagine that's been kept a secret for 55 years. But in a way, saying that doesn't make sense, because if you'd have told me when I was 6 months old or 2 years old, I wouldn't have really known what you were saying, would I? And if you told me when I was 4, am I still going to remember it when I'm 10? Unless it's mentioned a lot, during that time. If you told a kid their name, your name's Adrian, you say it when they're 4 years old or 3 years old, and then you never ever mention it again, and nobody ever calls them by their name. You tell all the neighbours, all their friends, all the family. They're going to forget their name's Adrian, aren't they? It's probably quite a cruel thing to do, to be fair, but just as an experiment, I guess. Why would anyone do that? But you'd think that, bearing in mind, I've never really had a huge amount to talk to. There's been some boring moments with family members when perhaps we haven't really had much to say to each other. And you'd think in a moment like that, someone would just say, "Oh, you do know you got a twin?" Well, I bet your twin would have something to say about that. I bet your twin's more interested than you are. I bet your twin's taller. It'd just come out, wouldn't it? And also with my brothers, brothers and sisters, siblings, whatever you want to call them. I don't know why it's called siblings. At some point in the childhood relationship, siblings are pretty much going to want to find something juicy to chuck out, in an argument. So it'd come out, wouldn't it? It'd come out that I was a twin. Here's something I'm going to read out to you. Right. This is what I've been exempted from the council tax. Okay. I didn't ask for this. This is when I did my universal credit. They said to me, "You shouldn't be paying council tax. You're exempt. I said, what are you talking about, Willis? And they said, stop that. And I couldn't help it. I was going through a different strokes marathon. Do you know what? 80s TV programs get a little bit of a flack for being maybe flaky and a bit silly, but Different Strokes was a very philosophical and thoughtful program. I've been watching some episodes lately, and every week there's something meaningful. It's like there's a lesson to be learned. And I don't think I maybe appreciated that at the time. It's the same with the Cosby Show. Although some of those life lessons don't seem quite so valid now, for some reason. But Different Strokes, was it Mr. Drummond, wasn't it? Or Dad. But they called him Mr. Drummond for the first few weeks, I think. And it was like, I think I related to Different Strokes, like Arnold and Willis. Is it Will or Willis? Because me and my brothers were kind of in a similar situation, except we weren't living in a mansion. Like we weren't living with a multi-millionaire who was renting the house. That's what I didn't understand. He had a landlord, Mr. Drummond, and the house was huge. Or the flat was huge. I don't know. It was an apartment. It's massive. Why? I mean, maybe I've heard there's parts of New York and America where they used to have a limited rent or maximum rent, so the landlords couldn't charge more than a certain amount, regardless of whatever it was. And I realised when I said that out loud that it didn't come out very clear. I don't mean I don't mean like that, but the clarity of the meaning of the words that I was saying might not be quite what I had hoped for when I started out on that little journey of a sentence. However, the meaning of the show, I liked it. And it was fun. It was funny. It was repetitious. I mean, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? But as a kid, it was funny. And I don't know. I like that show. Why am I talking about Different Strokes? I don't know. Right. So I got when I spoke to the person on the phone, Universal Credit, they swapped me over last year around this time, probably about March, April time. So I had to change my benefits because I'm on I was on ESA, which was, I don't know what it stands for. I don't know. I'm trying to think of something clever to say, but I ran out in 1996. It stands for something. So they called me up, or they sent me a letter saying you got to fill these forms in online. Oh, so I did that, and then we're going to call you up. I was okay. The weird thing about it is they have every bit of information about me that they need, because they already give me the benefits or pay me the whatever you want to call them. And I'm like, well, you already have this information. And they wanted proof of my ID. Well, if you don't believe I am who I am, why do you keep putting money in my bank account? You know what I mean? It's like, what? Who else am I? But I had to prove who I was and all that stuff. And they changed. So they basically went from me getting paid twice a month to getting, well, ultimately, basically, to get paid once a month. And instead of my rent going directly to the housing place, my landlord, the council housing office or whatever, that money for the rent would be included in my monthly money that they put into my account. And that concerned me, because I haven't had to deal with the rent since I've lived here. It just goes out, and knowing it just goes out means that I've never had to worry about being kicked out because I haven't paid the rent. It's always, I mean, it is a little bit behind, but it's always a month behind anyway, I think, with the way that they do it. But, and I'm like, oh, I wasn't looking forward to it, because I know people that have had to go through the changeover, but I was supposed to have been done like 5 years ago or 4 years ago, but there was this backlog of loads. And then they pushed it through. They did like really quickly trying to put people back onto universal credit, which is a different system. It's a different payment structure. It's basically re-looking at the situation and deciding what I'm allowed to claim for and what I'm eligible for and all that stuff. And So I sent all the information. I wonder if I've got it on here. Let me have a look if I can get it up on the screen. What was weird? Well, not weird, but the weird to me. I think it's is it my email address? I don't know. I've got so many different email addresses. It's ridiculous. No, it's not. No. Oh, it's amazing how often I forget my own name. Like I miss a letter out. Because I'm trying to type with one hand, which just goes to show that I must be a fairly adequate typer if typing with one hand slows me down, because I always used to type with one hand, but now I can type with two. I'm still looking at the keyboard, but I guess some of the times I'm not. I just don't realise it. Because then this will make sense. So if I open that up, ooh, I forgot a very important aspect to this. That's it. Okay, I'll save that. So either it's my... No, that's not. Right, let's see if I get it now. Oh, done it. So now it's going to send a code to my phone. and then I can actually tell it if I want it to keep it open for 30 days, I think, or two weeks maybe. Then I can read you out the whole process. Oh, 1 week. Right, here we go. So, we have, on this is the gov.uk, Universal Credit Service.gov.uk dashboard. So there's report a change, make a journal entry, payments and advances, to-do list, your work plans and commitments, your accessibility needs. Tell us how we can support you. Okay. So, right, I haven't had any payments or advance payments, although I did request it in the summer when I was visiting Uncle Sausage's, and I said to him, please can you help me to pay for the taxis to get to the hospital and back? And they said, no, you're not down as his registered carer, so no. I was like, really? It was such a shame, because I needed a little bit of help at that time. So with the journal entry, let's go back. All right, it was the 1st of May that our contact details completed, 1st of May. So it's just under a year, at 11:07. Address completed, previous address completed, do I have a partner completed, nationality completed, housing completed, children and other people who live with you completed, work and earnings completed, bank account details completed, money, savings and investments. Sorry, I laugh at that. Investments completed, income other than earnings completed, education and training completed, health completed, caring for someone completed, new claim details were submitted. If I click on that, what comes up? Oh, it's got all of my information on it. Isn't that nice? Okay, right, it's just basic stuff. You still have to accept your commitments. Yeah, right. Okay, so confirm your identity, wait for call, accept your commitments completed. So they called me up. Right, yeah, confirm your housing details completed. So I asked them, and they said, I said to them, is there a chance that you can pay my rent directly to the housing department, my landlord, instead of to me? And they said, yeah. And I said also, is there any way instead of paying me once a month, you could pay me twice a month? It's just, it's a personal thing. I've never had it all in 1 month, and I used to struggle when I worked getting paid once a month. Just, kind of managing it for the whole 4 weeks. So, yeah, it's just maybe it's my lack of, I don't know. But anyway, they said yes, so that was nice. I didn't know they would say yes, but they did say yes. And it's made a lot of difference, because I was concerned about that. And then there's a thing saying other benefits affecting your universal credit. I'm getting ESA, which I was before. And they say, if you think this is wrong, which is not, benefits that can affect universal credit, job seekers allowance, employment and support allowance, carer support payment, maternity allowance. Yep. No. widow, state pension, incapacity benefit, severe disability allowance, industrial injuries, disablement benefit. So basically what they've done is they've consolidated everything into one place. So all the different things that were together, and then it was done. So it was done by the 8th of May. Alright, changes to universal credit vote. So from the 7th of June 2025, we'll pay £447.83 of your universal credit to your landlord once a month. If your rent is more than this, you'll need to pay the difference. You now get 2 payments a month. Right. So £447.83. I won't need to pay the difference because that's the rent. And if it was more, they'd pay that as well. Well, I don't know why they're saying that. I mean, imagine £448 a month for a flat. It's pretty good. Pretty good. It's very cheap. And then I went to... Oh yeah, hi, I spoke to someone at UC today about getting an advance payment. The phone cut off after I gave all my details and explained why I was calling. That person doesn't appear to have put notes on here about our conversation, so I'm trying on here. I would like an advance payment, please, solely to cover the costs of taxis to the hospital and back to visit my very ill elderly neighbour. That's the only thing I'll be spending it on. Each trip to the hospital cost me £40 return. And they replied, this is on the 1st of July, 2nd of July. This is not something that we would issue as advance towards, as I cannot see any indication that you provide full-time care for them. And then I've had a couple of things from a bloke called Matthew from Job Centre. And then 2nd of January, I got a cold weather payment. £25 cold weather payment because of the... Oh, it must have been, it was because of the coldness. And then the 1st of March 2026, and it's saying other benefits. I don't know why have they sent that to me again? 1st of March, I didn't even come up. Some other benefits can affect how blah 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 blah. So yeah, so that's it. Anyway, I got this letter through. I'm now waiting to find out whether or not I'm going to get PIP, because that's been 6 months now since I filled that form in. So that's going to be interesting. If I don't, I'm going to lose £280 a month. So they said to me, the Universal Credit people, "Hey up, Jay, you do know," because they went through all my expenditures and stuff like that, and I think they were going through my bank statements. What's this for? What's that for? Not quite sure why, but I mean, on my bank statements, basically all it is expenditures, bills, mainly Uber Eats, because I get my groceries from them as well. So that's all it is, really. So they said, why don't you contact the council tax people and apply for an exemption notice, because you're available, or you're eligible for that. So I did, and I got a letter 1st of March 2026. This is to confirm that the above property is exempt from payment of council tax for the period of 1st of April 2026 to the 31st of March 2027, as it falls into exemption class U. Okay, this class relates to properties that meet the following criteria. This is a bit that I was a little bit taken back by, but hey. A dwelling occupied only by person or persons who are severely mentally impaired. It's weird. Weird wording. Weird wording. I mean, that, yeah. To me, that gives connotations of, I don't know, almost like having brain damage or something. But it's the illness, I guess. But just, well, yeah, but mentally impaired. Weird. So yeah, that was. I don't know why I went through all that just to get to that point, but I'm still waiting to hear about the PIP, personal independence payment. And the thing is, everything I pay for it's expensive getting deliveries for everything, and it'd be nice if I was going out and stuff and buying nice clothes. And I mean, technically, if you do it right, not if you do it right, but there are ways of getting a car and a mobility car and stuff, but I don't drive and also don't need one. Well, I don't know, with my back these days. Oh, you keep moaning about your back. What do you keep moaning about that for? I'm not moaning, I'm just mentioning it. So I don't know. Still waiting to hear about the PIP. I've had 2 messages from them so far since I handed in the form. It is, let's have a look. Beep, 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 beep. Okay, here we go. So, okay, here we go. Wednesday the 30th of July last year. The review of your PIP has started. We are sending you a PIP review form. If you have not received this in 2 weeks, call us. The date you need to get your completed form back to us is on the front page. We will text you when we receive your form back. And then the 18th of August, I was procrastinating a little bit, I'll be honest. We sent you a PIP review form. If you have not returned your form, please fill it in and send it to us by the date we asked. If you need more time to complete it, call us. If you have returned your form or contacted us about it in the last few days, please ignore this text. And then Thursday the 28th of August. So they've had it since August, end of August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March. So it's nearly, it's 2 weeks off 7 months. We have received your PIP review form. We may contact you for more information, or you may need an assessment with a health professional before we make our decision. We will contact you again if you do. If you do? If I do what? You will continue to get PIP while your award is being reviewed. You only need to contact us if your circumstances change. So that was the end of August, 28th of August. Monday the 24th of November. It's always in the morning. Actually, it's not. That was in the morning. In fact, the last two have been in the morning, exact same time, funny enough. The one then was 12:56 in the afternoon. Oh, but the other two were in the morning as well. 8:04 for the first, saying that we've started your review. It's Wednesday the 30th of July. Then the other one reminded me, we've sent you a PIP review. Can you please fill it in and send it back? Thank you very much. That was 8:23 on the 18th of August. But the one saying that we received it was 28th of August, 12:56. But then the next two are both at 8:10 in the morning. One was November 24th. We still have your PIP form and will be progressing your review as soon as we can. You may still need an assessment with a health professional. Your PIP will continue to be paid until we review your claim. You only need to contact us if your circumstances change. So that was end of November. So that was 3 months after they received it. And then I got another one in February, 16th of February. So that's well, it's a month ago now, isn't it? We still have your PIP form and will be processing your review as soon as we can. You may still need an assessment with a health professional. Your PIP or PIP will continue to be paid until we review your claim. You only need to contact us if your circumstances change. So yeah, every day I'm just waiting for the form to come through, or a letter to say yep or no, yeah or no, or telling me I have to go in, which I can't. So I go in and get a taxi in, but I can't face it, I'll be honest with you. So I'll see if they want to come here, do a face-to-face in my house. And I don't know, I've watched some videos on YouTube about the whole assessment, because I've never had an assessment like face-to-face or anything like that. It's just always been because I didn't even fill it in. My social worker filled it in to start with back in 2014. So I didn't even know what it was. And then I've had to reapply or get reviews a few times over the years. And I got help with citizen advice once, maybe twice. I might got help with a doctor's surgery once. And the last time they said I didn't have to be reviewed for 5 years. Or 4 years, 5 years, something like that. Which takes me up to next year, or the end of this year. But they've kind of started reviewing it early. So I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do, but yeah, I don't know. If they just say, nah, not having it anymore, then the question would be, well, why did you give it to me before then? If I'm not eligible now, then I wasn't eligible before. And then they might say, okay, pay it back. Like, okay, I was eligible before, but not now. It's a weird one, isn't it? It's like, what's changed? So I don't know what's going to happen there. I'm just going to have to just see what happens, isn't it? A strange one. But I've been in flux, is that the right word? Up in the air a little bit since the summer. I mean, really, since having to do the universal credit. What was that, the end of March, or was it May? And then, Uncle Sausages, and then the whole kind of filling out a PIP form, and it's all been up in the air, the financial aspect of things, not knowing how it's going to be. The universal credit seems to be okay, but PIP, I don't know. I've never included my back before, but I told them about my back because they asked. Anything else? I just, okay. Because it does affect me. I'm on painkillers. It's been affecting me for years. I just never really, I didn't think they'd want to know about it. But it does affect my mobility in a way that I'm kind of surprised about, actually. I don't think I'm ever going to be able to apply for the Olympics again. Those backflips, they were my bread and butter, they were. I was so good at, what am I talking about? But you know it, certain things I just can't do so much. And I kind of think of it logically, like, okay, well, it's just the back. And then I walk, and then I realise, ow. But, it's just like, well, it's just the back. It's just the back. I'm the heaviest I've ever been, ever, in my entire life. I'm 16 stone 1.1. I've been 16 stone before, but I've never been 16 stone 0.1 ounce. Is it ounce or kilo? I don't know. And severely mentally impaired. Sebastian, what have you got to say about that? If Sebastian's listening, I'm sure he'll post something on YouTube making fun of me for having a mental disorder. So, it's very strange. And it's just as I've kind of got to the age where I'm starting to like the idea of maybe doing a bit of travelling. Now I can't walk far, I want to go travelling. It's, I don't know, just, I don't mean hiking. I'm not going to be going hiking. But maybe, going on cruises like I've mentioned before. Something like that appeals to me. I'd quite like to do it. Or just travel around this country and stay in dog-friendly hotels. Just something a little bit different. Something interesting. You know what I mean? You get me? Innit? Eh? I still only got 242 members. Why hasn't anyone added? Where? Why? So 46, 47. Add episodes 47. Right. So 47. This is the stress and pain relief podcast. 47. That's the last one to upload. So I've got quite a bit of stuff to do there. But once it's done, it's done. And I can move on to the next podcast. But I need to find the images and stuff. I suppose I want it to match the website, the store that I've got. But then I'm still thinking, if I offered all different lengths on there, it would take forever to get them on there. Yeah. And I think it would cost, the more stuff I get on there, the more it's going to cost me to store it, because I'm not charging anyone for the stuff. I think because it's a Shopify store and I'm basically on a commission. Well, they get a commission from what I sell. And because I'm not selling anything, the only thing they're making is the £40 a week that I pay for the website, the hosting. Yeah. Have I got any messages? No messages. So I'll come out of there because Jason Newland's boring group. Thanks, Lucas, for your kind PayPal gift. Nothing, no response. Nobody's on Facebook today. I didn't even get a like for yesterday's Let Me Bore You to Sleep. Why? Come on. It's like I'm losing everyone. Where you gone? I didn't get one question for last week's Q&A Friday. So, have you all left me? You don't love me no more. What's going on? What's going on? What's this? Banner? Oh, okay, right. Come out of that. So, right. I'm trying to think what other things. I mean, I'm getting people visiting, and the downloads are going up now, which is good. Let's see how many people are visiting my website in the last 30 minutes. None. 30 minutes, nothing. How can that be real? How? Outlook. So let's have a look. This is the email. McDonald's. I can't believe how many things that they send me. What did I'm sure I bought something the other day on Uber Eats, and it's supposed to be £2 discounted from £3.25 or £3.28, and they still charged me £3.28. I think that's all I've got on my email is Uber Eats, Ring Team. So tells me when my door camera's about to run out. Also, I've got I pay $4.99 a month, and I've got the you received money PayPal gift. That was from Lucas. That was at 3:28 this morning. And then I got when the podcasts are uploaded to my website, jasonnewland.com, I get an email from there. Receipts for your payment to Uber. Your Saturday evening order with Uber. It's two different orders. Uber payments. Moonpig, looking for something. So I've gone into Moonpig. But I left that. Yeah, this week was expensive. I had to send, well, I didn't have to, but Mother's Day, a card and some flowers, so that's like another 50 quid. Uber Eats Saturday, Gazette, that's the local paper. A community-run cafe. I didn't know there was such a thing. I didn't know such a thing existed or was even possible. Uber Eats again. Then I got Jamila Sundon Sundori, sorry. Improve your YouTube growth. Go away. Uber payments. So, another one. Jason Newland, your downloads are ready. This is Saturday when I tried to download my podcast episode. I'll do it again just so you can see how much quicker. With if I go to store, and just see how quickly, because I'm now uploading them every day. So when I do a new recording, I try and update it, which I did. So the 1573 Let Me Boy to Sleep from yesterday is already uploaded. In fact, I think I did that last night before I went to bed. So I click on that and I buy it now. 0 money to pay. It's got my address and everything, so I just click complete order. Or I could just check out as a guest. And that's it. So let me see, should get an email thing. An email at some point telling me that your downloads are ready. Order one. Okay, so it's telling me about the orders there. Order 1348. So that's how many downloads I've had from the podcast, from that jasonnewland.store. I've had 1348 orders. People would order stuff for free. So let's have a look. Click the download. See how long it takes to download it. 41.3 megabytes. So 3 minutes. 2 minutes. 3 minutes. 2 minutes. So it's a lot quicker than the 20-30 minutes or whatever the last one was. So yeah, and this was an hour and a half yesterday, which is about average kind of length for my Let Me Bore You to Sleep recordings. About an hour and a half is about normal. An hour plus. Sometimes just over, sometimes a lot over, sometimes 2 hours. Doesn't normally go above that, but it depends, really. It all depends. It depends on... It's really weird, because if I close my eyes when I'm talking like this, I start to drift. And I start to semi-go into dream world, where it's almost... I mean, honestly, I nearly said just then, I'm sharing a bedroom with my brother, not my little brother, my older brother. And there's not a lot of room. And I'm like, what's that about? So I drifted that quickly. And I wasn't asleep, but it didn't feel like daydreaming. It felt like going back into a previous dream. Because my brothers are often in my dreams. My dad's rarely in my dream. He's not in my dreams much. And it's mainly my older brothers that are in my dreams. Other people, I mean, it depends on who I've had interaction with. Oh, that's all downloaded anyway, so it took about 3 minutes. It depends who I've been talking to. Sometimes I dream about my nan. Sometimes I dream about Luke downstairs. Sometimes I dream about Andre. Vinny's often in my dreams. He's just there. Because I guess he's always here with me, so he follows me in my dreams. In my dreams. He follows me in my dreams. Yeah. There's something about having my eyes closed. So they're closed now. And I'm literally like, I was going to say I'm inches away from falling asleep, but that doesn't necessarily make sense. It does feel relaxing though. Yeah. It's quite peaceful. My voice is going croaky. That's what happens when I'm asleep. My voice gets croaky. But when I wake up, it's nice and smooth. Smooth. Weird, isn't it? Isn't it weird? Ooh. I tell you, Vinny's been really good lately. He doesn't bark at stuff that goes on in the garden anymore, which he used to do. I mean, if there's a lot of stuff going on, he might bark. But generally, if he hears another dog barking, he doesn't bark anymore. Which he did. He doesn't bark at the dustmen when they come every 2 weeks to collect the rubbish. Doesn't bark at them. Hasn't barked for years. And they're only every 2 weeks. He just doesn't care. He's in bed, doesn't care. The dog in the garden doesn't care. He's not fussed. The dog in the distance doesn't care anymore. And when there's a bunch of dogs all barking at the same time, he gets excited. So he does pipe up a little bit. But generally, he's pretty good. I mean, he still gets super excited if someone goes into their front doors upstairs. Either of the flats upstairs, if he hears the door, he'll bark. He can't help himself. He just... And it's... I don't think it's a case of there's someone at the door warning. He's just so excited to say hello to them. And bearing in mind that the person that lives opposite me now, that flat had Uncle Sausages living there for nearly 30 years. So Vinny knew him from the age of 10 months until last August. And they were friends. He'd been in the flat. He knew. He always got so excited when he saw Uncle Sausages, as he does when he sees a couple of the other neighbours. I mean, there's different levels. He gets excited when he sees any neighbour that lives in a building, but those that give him attention, those are the ones that he gets most excited at. So Uncle Sausages, downstairs, there's a couple downstairs actually. One says, says hello to him, then don't let him jump up on me. So I do try and stop him because he does get dirty when we're out. And she doesn't like him jumping up anyway. But she still makes a fuss of him. And the other one downstairs, think he's in love with her. Seriously. He's got so many girlfriends around here, Vinny has. There's another lady across the road, or across the path really. I don't really think of it as a garden, but it is a kind of a communal space. If you cross over, directly opposite where I live, there's a lady there, and he adores her. We've been calling her his girlfriend for years, because he just goes so... There's something about her that he can't get enough of her. Absolutely goes nutty when he sees her. I mean, there's a few people like that. I mean, Nanny Treats is one. I looked at him when I said that, and he stopped. His head just stopped and looked up. So Nanny, just the word nanny now does it. He did it again. So, I mean, he's crazy. When we went into her house, it was last week, she invited us round to go back the next day. So I went round. Vinny was up and down the stairs, and he was jumping all over her, like really jumping all over her. I was the other side of the room for some reason. There was a settee in between us, but it's like, you know, sit there if you like a mile away from you. I can't even see you, but that's okay. And Vinny was just having a time of his life, sniffing everything. He loved it, absolutely loved it, and he was all over her, on a lap, cuddling her, trying to kiss her face. He was trying to get onto her cabinet. He was just really, he's so happy. And she did say to me, because they've made a fuss of each other for over 2 years now. Yeah, it's got to be over 2 years, because I've given her Christmas cards 2 years in a row. So it's, yeah, over 2 years, probably from when I first got him. And she had the opinion, and I think a lot of other dog walkers do, that he's only excited to see people that give him food. And I keep trying to say to them, you don't realise that if you'd never given him any treats ever, he would still be, if he likes you, he'd still be gushing all over you. And they don't seem to believe me. But I've got a neighbour, I've got two, but there's one round the corner who he absolutely adores. Like this bloke that lives, another neighbour, he's never given him a single thing, ever. And he just lays on the floor and, you know, lets people rub his belly and stuff. Vinny just watches. And then when he gets up, I say, "Well, do you want to rub Vinny's belly?" And it's a real kind of connection there. Vinny loves him, and he's never given him a thing ever. And there's a couple of people like that, and Vinny gets excited to see them. It's not about treats, it's about, I mean, sometimes it is, but for those people it's not. And Nanny Treats was one that kept saying, like, it was just, if I didn't give him treats, he wouldn't want to be near me. So I said, "Well, take this then. Take this in your hand." And she said, "What?" And I said, No, this is the handle for the handle for the lead. Because he was basically because I had him and he kept begging. So I was holding the lead and he kept begging, for her. As soon as she took the handle, he just walked forward. happy. Didn't want nothing from her. He was just happy to be walking with her holding the lead. I guess could feel the love through the lead. I don't know. And I said to her, I told you, didn't I? She said, yeah. And then she said, what do you mean? What did you tell me? I said, I told you that he wasn't just after treats. Okay. But what's that got to do with the lead? And that's when I realised it made sense to me that proved that he was interested in her, not just what she had inside her pants, like in her pockets, I mean. And I believed it wasn't just about what she gave him, but the fact that he just absolutely adores her. So I think the fact she's done it a couple of times now, where she's had him on the lead, and he's just walked ahead so proudly, trotting like a little. What's those little horses that Princess Anne drives, whatever, and they lift their legs up, really, you know. I mean, I suppose all horses lift their legs up, but they do it in a kind of marchy way. And because I think Princess Anne, she won Olympic medals, didn't she, and stuff a few decades ago. And is it bon voyage or camouflage or something? They call it camouflage, camouflage, voulez-vous. What's it called? Anyone? I don't remember. So yeah, I think she was quite surprised that he, as soon as she had it in her hand, he just acted different. Like, she was surprised that he was no longer hassling her for treats or anything. He seemed genuinely happy to be just trotting along in front of her. That was quite nice. I've fallen asleep again. That story wasn't enough to keep me awake. I mean, that is one of the problems with making these recordings, is although I'm kind of doing this to send people to sleep, my struggle is staying awake because it's so boring. It's slow, a bit tedious at times, and it's just me. You know, there's no one else apart from Vinny with me. It's dark outside. It's nearly 20 to 8 in the evening. I mean, you could say it's home time, although I am home. He's still not eating his dinner like he's supposed to do. Vinny, that is. Vinny, Manilli. I don't know why. Everything feels really relaxed right now. Very calm. I don't know if, do you know what I mean? Just very peaceful. Like even Vinny chewing on that bone thing he's chewing on, he's doing it very quietly, being considerate, taking his time. You know, every now and then, I have this memory of, I don't know if it's real, I don't think it is real, but it might be, but I don't know, of an upstairs to Stratford station, well, upstairs to Stratford supermarket in the 90s. And I got this memory that there was an upstairs. And up there was like a showroom for kitchens. Or was it sofas? It wasn't sheds. I think it was kitchens, or maybe it was double glazing, but I think it was, it might have been sofas. And I befriended, I didn't befriend, but I became quite, chatty with the bloke that run it. I mean, I'm just thinking maybe it was round the corner. So it wasn't upstairs, but it was round the corner. Because what was a bit strange about Stratford Shopping Centre, I'm talking, long time ago, and it was a bit like the TARDIS. There's a lot of water. It's a little bit like the TARDIS, and it was, although it wasn't like little when you walked in, there was a lot more space, there was a lot more going on when you actually got inside. So if you go into the entrance from the outside, you could get into the entrance opposite the train station as well. Oh no, I think you could, but also you could get into Stratford Shopping Centre from the underground. There was an entrance that led you through the underground that could take you there as well. So yeah, that's it. But if you go in the front, there used to be a shoe shop, because I dated someone that worked there. And then I think we split up, and I asked her friend out who also worked there, and she said no, and I said, oh, go on. And she said, has that ever worked? I said, what do you mean? She said, well, if you ever asked someone out and they said no, and then said, oh, go on, have they ever changed their mind and said, oh, okay then, I hadn't thought of it like that, yeah. I said, no. So why say it then? I said, I don't know, it's worth a try. But then we became friends-ish, and I go in there, and I was still friends with the girl I was dating before that as well. I think I just had time on my hands. Although I was working, so I don't know. This might have been a period when I wasn't. This might be, might be in a period when I was working in the Elephant and Castle. I don't know, I lose track. But I remember going, if you walk in, there wasn't a McDonald's there like there is now. It's all been rebuilt and everything. It's a lot different now. But there used to be, I don't know what was on the right hand side. Maybe a little clothes shop or something. But up a little bit further on the right hand side there was a newsagent. Well, it was a newsagent, but it was quite big. Quite a big bit of space, so there's loads of room to have all the magazines and the newspapers, and they probably sold stationery and drinks, and possibly they was off license as well. I don't remember, but I used to get on quite well with the lady that ran that as well. So I used to go in these places when they were quiet and talk to them. That sounds weird, doesn't it? And then moving further up, I can't remember what was on the other side of the yeah, I don't remember. I'm sure there was like a games shop, like a computer games shop that sold things like Ataris or whatever games, whatever the up-to-date games were. There was definitely a bank, because there's a big like area in the middle that was just empty, and then I think there was some seating. There was definitely a bank. If you turned left, that led somewhere. If you turned right, that led, actually there was stuff there, but that also led to the theatre, the Stratford Theatre. That exit led there. And there was a few like little shops there as well. But then if you went into this like entrance, there was this big area inside. There was a cafe, there was like a couple of big stores, almost hidden. Weird. I mean, I don't know how they did it. Oh, there was a clothes store. Oh, I remember going in, so walking past the shoe shop. That was before the entrance, but it was still within the entrance area, just before the doors, you know. And just go in, cross over, on the right hand side there was a shop that sold clothes, and none of it was expensive, which is why I went in there, because I couldn't afford to buy nice clothes. But I did what I could. I did my best. And what I did is, I used to go in there and buy tops, like jumpers, and I figured that the best thing to do, if I couldn't afford to buy, the two things really. Firstly, I didn't really know the name of the designer clothes. I knew some of them, but I didn't really know what was named, what a name and what a rubbish name was and what a good name was. Gouttiere, I knew that was quite a good one, and Walls, Cornish pasty, and Ginders. I don't know. There were some names I know was good. Disney. So what I thought I would do, I'd search for jumpers and shirts and things like that that had no name tag on whatsoever. other than, obviously my own name tag that I'll put on afterwards, just to make sure I don't lose it, with my address and stuff. And I think doing that was quite good because, okay, it didn't have a name, didn't have a popular badge on it. But sometimes people would say, "Ooh," I don't know why. And other times people would say, "Oh, what's the brand? I like that jumper. What's the brand?" And as I'm telling you this, I've got this memory of a jumper that I had probably back in the early 90s. And it was this brown and white, or brown and kind of beigey, yellowy kind of jumper. And it had these flappy collars. And it looked like I had something on underneath, like there was a jumper and then there was like this t-shirt underneath, but it wasn't. It was just a jumper. I know. So I'm not sure if that's the one that people asked about, but that is one that I used to wear. And I got so embarrassed because I was so slim, and I just didn't want to walk around. I didn't mind walking around, but I used to put on like extra layers just to fill me out. It's just the way it was back then. It's the way it was, my dear. My dear, my dear, my dear, my dear. Just trying to think what other clothes I used to wear. I went through a period, and this was in 1995, where I would wear silk shirts and jeans. Now, when I wore jeans, I generally tried to go for the 501s that were still fairly popular back then. But I'd have just wait for them to come through. I had sorry, I was waiting for the memories to come through. I had the silk shirts, and they'd be long, so I'd have to. I always like to have my crotch covered and my bum for some reason. I felt that my bum was just like I didn't have a bum. I don't know. I just felt like I had to cover myself up. So I'd wear these silk shirts. I had about 4 or 5 of them, and none of them were expensive. But I used to wear them. Yeah. I had to wash them by hand, I do believe, if I remember correctly, and they would dry ever so quickly. And they would dry without needing to be ironed. Yeah, it's quite cool, isn't it? The thing is, if you iron them, they would melt. Now, I don't know if that's how normal silk works, but these things, if they got too hot, they would melt. Which is why I couldn't put them into the washing machine. So I'd wash them in the sink, and then I'd rinse them in a bucket, and it'd just take ages. But eventually, once it was finished, hung them up, and they would dry so quickly. And it was nice. I liked that. So I used to walk around with like in the summer anyway, with these silk shirts on, thinking to myself, I'm wearing a silk shirt. Now the reality of it is, I don't honestly know what the percentage of silkness was in those shirts. It might literally be like 5% silk or something. I don't know, unless there's different types of silk and you're able to get it very, very cheap. Then that might explain why I was able to buy these silk shirts. But I liked them. Yeah. I like my silk shirts, baby. I like my silk shirts. And I remember, I think the sleeves were too long for me, so I used to roll the sleeves up so they were just below my elbows. Yeah, it was nice. Yeah. I'm just trying to remember what other shops there was. I know for sure, for definite, there was a Sainsbury's. So keep going down on the right hand side before the exit or the entrance for the Stratford train station. There was on the right hand side, or if you come in on the left hand side, if you're coming in, Sainsbury's. It's still there. It's only still there. So I saw a video recently of Stratford. It's still there. Sainsbury's, and that used to be one of the places that I'd shop. It's still there. There was no bookshop in Stratford. I'm trying to think of some other places I used to go. There was what's it place, like a health food shop directly, oh no, it wasn't directly opposite Sainsbury's. Directly opposite Sainsbury's was this quite a big shop full of prams and baby stuff. Home, it had a name. I suppose every shop has a name, doesn't it? But it had a name that was quite big back then. Home World or Home Pram World or something like that. And it was a nationwide brand. And I think it was somewhere where people would generally go in preparation for a new baby. What was it called? Milky World, no. Snuzzle Buzzle, I don't know. There was honestly Home. I'll find out what it was. How am I going to do that? Oh. I never went in there. There was no reason. But next to that shop, on the way up, back out again, like going back towards the entrance, the original entrance, there was a health food shop, and I used to go in there and chat to the man who owned it, and I got in quite well with him. Got in. We had a laugh. And I went through a period when I was a vegan, so he kind of helped me with that process. Yeah. Again, I was trying to put on weight, and I think he had scales in there, and I'd weigh myself and like, oh, come on. I was doing protein drinks, loads of vitamins. I haven't taken a vitamin in years. I really should. I remember one thing I got from him. It was these sticky-on things onto the bottom of my feet. It was supposed to draw out I don't know what you want to call it, muck, or just what do they call that? You got stuff that's chemicals, drawing out the chemicals from the skin or from the foot. Toxins. So to sort of try and detox the body. So I used to put these on the bottom of my feet, and they'd ache a little bit in the morning. But I'd look at them and they were absolutely filthy. I quite liked them. Almost felt like I'd been successful. I'd done something that worked in a healthy way. Because back then we didn't have the internet, couldn't look things up. I mean, you could look, there was a way to research. There was libraries and stuff like that, and bookshops, and asking people. I'm not sure what happened to him. I think next door to that there might have been a Boots. I've got a memory that there might have been a Boots next to that, which was a chemist, or now a pharmacy. I'm not sure. I don't know. It's kind of coming back. But now if you keep going up a little way, that's where the bank is. There was a jeweller's as well, but that was up the other side. I think that was next to the bank. They did that just to make it easier for robbers, so they didn't have to travel too far between. Vinny's doing the old flapping of the ears again. I just really do believe that there was an upstairs, and that bugs me sometimes because I can't see any kind of stairwell where the upstairs would be, unless there was, and it's just I've forgotten where it was. But I'm pretty sure upstairs there wasn't much up there. So we didn't get a lot of traffic. like, foot traffic. And it's not like there wouldn't have been enough room, because that place is huge. Stratford, that whole area, they built the Olympic, like an Olympic city there. So the room, the space was there. I remember, if you come out of the main entrance of the supermarket, Stratford Shopping Centre, if you turn left, so you go past the shoe store, wave at Pam and Bob, or whoever it was, and then turn left, there used to be market stalls on the right hand side, and behind them there was an old church that's probably been there long before all of this stuff is there. It's been there, everything's been built around the church. I don't know if anyone ever used the church, but it's very, very elderly. Just trying to think. The market stalls, I think they had like clothes and handbags and suitcases, and maybe some jewellery and things like that. And on the left hand side there was a pizza place. I've got this memory that there was two different pizza places. I don't know, like a vague memory of that. Just trying to think, going down further, I can't even remember it, because where the church is, there was a bit of space which wasn't really used. I mean, people were walking around, but there was a crossing, like lights, and you could cross over, and there was a pub there. There was a pretty good pub, I think, yeah, and then there was another one to the left. I wonder what else was there. There was some other things there as well. Maybe an off license. But anyway, going back to where it was, if you walk past the pizza place on the left, I think there might have been a some kind of banking society, building society or something, I think. And then I said you got the stalls. I mean, these market stalls were always out, so the tables and the shelter, always up. They just left them there at night and they'd come back in the morning and hoped they were there, I guess. It's weird, isn't it? I can't really remember much. I mean, it was not a long road, but it wasn't like a short road either. Like the pavement, anyway. Yeah. So there wasn't much there. Could it go round? Yeah, it went round. Oh, that's it. Yeah, so it went round. And then there was a supermarket. They built a supermarket on the other side of the road. And it was like a big, I don't know if it was Sainsbury's or one of those kinds of supermarkets. But a big purposely built one with a big, parking space place as well. Car park, yeah, I know. Yeah, because that side of the road led down Romford Road. That led to the Stratford Library. Also led to East Ham College, I think. And yeah, the library's on the left, college was on the right. It's a little bit further up. Yeah, that was a Romford Road. Yeah, which led to Romford. Trying to think if there's anything else. I know there's a couple of pubs on the right hand side, but we get to the supermarket. I don't remember much really being on the left. I think it turned around a bit, a bit curly, and there was a couple of pubs which then led to Maryland Station on the right hand side. So yeah, there's two pubs. Then there was I don't know. I think it might have been somewhere that we could buy food. There was a place, like a shop. Yeah, like a corner shop kind of thing. So I used to go in there. And that was near the roundabout of Maryland Station. Maryland Station was opposite the other side. I'm sure there was a public toilets on that roundabout. I don't remember ever using it though. I can't remember every single time I've used the toilet. It's been at least 50 or 60 times, I suppose, over the years. Just trying to think. There was a lot of the shops, like leading from Maryland Station going down. So if you basically, once you're at Maryland Station, if you're standing on the roundabout, if you're facing Maryland Station, if you turned right, that would lead you to Stratford Station. If you turned left, that would lead you to Forest Gate. If you turned round, that would lead you to Leighton or Stratford, Leighton, Leytonstone. I lived in Stratford, but that direction. So there used to be a shop that sold fridges and freezers. Yeah. I never really could understand where they were making money, because nothing seemed to get sold. It seemed to look the same the whole time. And a lot of shops with the metal railings or security guard door things down, even when they weren't, well, during the day as well. Few places weren't open, and you could see the buildings were quite high, quite tall, and you could see things like sticking out the windows, and I don't know, I just wondered what was up there. Just turning down on the left, so that's on the right. On the left, keep going. I can't remember what was there and the shops wise, but there was a building. It was this tower block, but it was on its own. Just on its own. There was no parking space, no other tower block anywhere near it. It was just this little bit of ground. You could walk around it quite easily. And it went up probably 12 floors. It was just on its own. And the flats were good size. It wasn't that the flats were small, it was just there was nothing else but. It's just like you could walk around this building very easily. If there wasn't restrictions, because you can't get around, but if you could just walk around, it's like you do it in probably less than a minute. Walk around the building. But there's enough space inside for 6 flats on each floor. And I went in there one day to visit someone that I knew. I forgot what I was saying then. I think. So that building, I went in there once. My friend, someone I worked with, he said, "Oh, what do you want? How did you find out where I lived?" I said, "I don't know, someone told me. They followed you home one night from work." He said, "Oh, that's weird." I said, "I know." It put a little bit of a strain on our friendship, but we got through it. It's weird, I just had this kind of image of it was more, not image, but like inside a little bag, opening the bag and hearing like a rock band. Da 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 da. I'm trying to think. After that, there was a garage, like somewhere that sells cars, and on the right hand side there was a garage that fixed cars, and then further up than there I think there was just some houses. I mean, not far from where I lived, there was the road that I went down to get to where I lived. There was another place that sold cars as well there. On the left-hand side, walking up towards the Thatched House pub, but that whole area was classed as the Thatched House. You could literally just get into a taxi and just say, "Can I go to the Thatched House?" And they'd say, "Have you forgotten a special word?" And I'd say, "Please." And you'd hug each other and take me where I wanted to go. Thatched House. But the pub's closed down, that's what the place was, Thatched House pub. But on the way there, on the left hand side, there was a laundrette. I'm pretty sure there was a Chinese takeaway, and there was either a Pizza Hut or Domino's Pizza, one of them. And next to that, which is funny because I've never seen two pizza places next to each other before that point. I didn't think they'd even be allowed to do that. Pizza A Go-Go, which was at the time a much cheaper option as far as pizzas go. And I used to go and see, when I could, every week I'd get a pizza delivered. Every single week if possible. Not delivered, I'd pick it up. Yeah, why would I get it delivered? I literally lived across the road. But when I used to pick it up, that was only the last probably year or so that I lived in London. Yeah, I didn't used to get... I don't think I used to... Did I? I don't remember if I ever used to get a pizza in 1991 or 1992 or 1993 or 1994 or 95. 96, maybe from like 97, 98 onwards, I'd treat myself occasionally, but I would say possibly 2000, like a regular Sunday thing. I'd have a pizza on this Sunday afternoon, early evening. Yeah, it's nice. And sometimes I get a pizza go-go, sometimes I get a Pizza Hut or Domino's, whichever one it was. I think it was, I preferred the pizza go-go. No. Oh my goodness. I've forgotten the name. It wasn't Pizza Go-Go, it was Pizza Domino's, sorry. Domino's Pizza Go-Go. It didn't taste the same, I didn't think at the time. I remember I had a friend and he said, tastes exactly the same. And I said, no it doesn't. He said, yeah it does. Tastes exactly the same this time. He had no sense of, we didn't seem to notice changes in flavour of foods. I never understood that. But we're all different, aren't we? Not that I'm a connoisseur of pizzas, because I'm not. I'm not going to pretend I am, but because I'm not. I do like a pizza, and pizzas are nice. Yeah. But then going up a little bit further, past the pizza place, on the right hand side, I think it was a doctor's surgery. Oh, I just remembered. Further up, walking back, there was a chiropodist. And maybe it was a doctor's surgery up there, because I did go to a doctor's surgery. I also went to a chiropodist because I had a chiropodist need for my toe. But I think that was like 1989. My main doctor was in Forest Gate for some reason, even though I was in Stratford. Don't quite know why that was. Oh yeah, a little bit further up on the right hand side, there was the place I went into quite regularly. There was like a food place, so I'd buy milk and stuff like that, vegetables, stuff out of the freezer. And next to that was a chemist. Yeah, chemist. And then on the end of that little row, there might be more than 3 shops, but there's 3 that I remember. At the end of that row there was a bakery, and I used to go in there sometimes and get baked goods. One of my little favourite things I like to do is get a cheese and tomato roll, a sausage roll, with flaky pastry, sausage roll, a can of Coke, and a iced bun with a cherry on top. And then I'd take that home and eat it. I don't know why I added the word eat it, because that was kind of the point, isn't it? And I remember I was in there once. Oh, there was a chip shop. There was a chip shop in that row as well. Yeah. So in that row between the supermarket, well, a little kind of corner shop thing. There was a chip shop. There was a chemist, pharmacy, whatever you want to call it, and then there was the corner bakery. Opposite the bakery, across that road, after about 96, 97, mobile phone shops. They were everywhere. Mobile phone. They literally were. You couldn't. Honestly, you'd go in and there'd be mobile phone shops inside mobile phone shops. They'd be everywhere. You couldn't hide from them. They followed you around. And then at the end of that little bit of the road, traffic lights. To the left was bus stops, and because there's a lot of buses going in and out to Walthamstow, to Leighton, Leytonstone, to all different places. And then right across the road was the Thatched House pub. Which was a landmark. I mean, I think the last time I went there, it was a coffee place, but it still had the banner of Thatched House. Just trying to think what other things were there. I mean, a lot of the roads you'd walk down and there'd be nothing much. There'd be houses and it would lead somewhere. I mean, everything leads somewhere, doesn't it, I suppose? But there might be the odd shop. And houses. And then another shop. Off licence or news agents, which often were just the same thing, really. Or maybe a takeaway. I'm just thinking about that road that led down there from the Thatched House. That led to, turning left. It led to, where did it lead to? Walthamstow, East 17, Walthamstow. Because I worked there I worked there in a bakery, a big old massive bakery, Sunblessed Bakery, in 91 for a while. But then there's a road it crosses, which is what's that road? The thing is, East London is so many interconnections. Rowbridge Road, Lowbridge Road, Zobridge Road, something. And there's this big long road. And my friend lived on there. Leabridge Road, that's it. Leabridge Road. So I used to cross over there to get to Walthamstow. But Leabridge Road would also lead to Lea Bridge, wherever that is. It'd be a bridge, I suppose. And you just go different directions to get back to or to go to where you want, which is, I guess, pretty much the way that all roads work, isn't it? Really, you just go in the direction you want to go. Yeah, it makes sense. Once in the little bakery on the corner that I mentioned in Stratford, I met Bianca. I didn't meet her, but she came in. Bianca from EastEnders. She came in and bought a sandwich for Ricky. It was really weird because, like, okay, I've been watching you on TV for years. Didn't think I'd be too embarrassed to say hello. But then what would I say? Ironic, really, because she ended up, this was like in probably the late 90s, maybe 2000. And in about 2010, 11, 12 maybe, 2012, because she'd been out of EastEnders for a while. She came back and she was with a friend of mine, a comedian who I haven't seen for a long time now, but I used to be friends with him. And I was like, wow. So yeah, they were kind of doing their thing, and for some reason his name's gone out of my head, but it'll be there. Terry Alderton. Yeah, so me and him, he is a successful comedian, and I just knew him because we kind of started off around the same time. He went on to success, I went on to, I don't know what I went on to. I went on to this. I was trying to think of something that rhymed with success, and I thought excess, waistline, but I don't know. It's after the event, really, isn't it? I don't know if it's... I'm sure there used to be this nice shop in Stratford that had like nice clothes, that I would go in there sometimes and buy things if I was like in a decent paying job at the time, which occasionally I was, occasionally I wasn't. Most of the time I wasn't. I mean, when I did security, it still wasn't well paid, but it was okay because I was doing loads of hours. So a minimum of 60 hours a week. Just doing 12-hour days, 5 days a week is 60. So quite often I'd end up doing sort of 6 days, which is over 60 hours. Yeah. I don't know what got me thinking about Stratford and all the things there, all the things that used to be there. It's been such a long time that I've even visited. Last time I did go, years ago, I remember coming out and, you know, all the stadiums were built and it was all different, all built up and lovely. And I just walked up the end of the road, walked around towards where I used to live, a few changes, a few coffee shops. But when I turned right and walked down towards where I used to live, like in the back roads, everything was the same. Once I got off the main road, everything was the same. All the same roads. Nothing's been... I mean, they'd have to rebuild the houses. I mean, I suppose... Oh well. It's not a bad little area, living there at the time. I think one of the good things about living in London is, I mean, not always, but generally it was busy. Even at night, there's always someone around. And during the day, there was always people around. So it just could almost feel like having company without the company. So I'm going to go now. I seem to have waffled on about something for a while. So I'm going to say thank you for listening. Remember to be kind to yourself. You deserve to be happy. And also remember to be gentle to yourself, because you do deserve to feel safe.